Less, but I mean, I didn't really manage him that much. I kind of trust him. He's always ready to play. I knew he was going to play just because I have faith and trust in him, and I thought he just played a really good game. That's a trademark steal that he always gets with the inside hand. He gets that a lot usually when the guy's coming down the sideline, but he got it in transition. So I've been looking forward to a couple of those. He hasn't gotten as many as I would like him to have gotten this year. So, but he made a big time play.
Joe, what did you see in that execution down the stretch as opposed to earlier in the game where you couldn't cut into the lead and
I never thought we couldn't cut in the lead because of our offense. I thought we couldn't cut in the lead because of our defense. And so I liked our execution throughout the game. Our shot quality at halftime was like 1.22. Their shot quality was like 1.12, but we just couldn't get a stop in the way that we needed to. We couldn't. It took us a little while to figure out what they were, took us a little while to figure out how we were going to match up with them in order to slow them down and put us in the best position. Without Halliburton, they went to some of the different stuff and they had a lot of speed. So I never felt like it was our offense. I felt like it was our defense, and I thought we took it to another level in the second half.
And so down the stretch, did you see it was more defensive fueled? Or?
Down the stretch, I thought we executed defensively and offensively. I mean, we made the right play at the rim, extra pass, good screening. I thought it was a high-level execution on both ends of the floor, especially in the fourth quarter. But the thing I liked the most was just, we talk about it all the time, like it takes what it takes, and every game's going to be different. And I felt like in the first half it kind of caught us by surprise that we were down by that much. When I was like, I kind of told them, like, fellas, it's going to happen. Like, it might not be the last time we're down by double digits. So I like the way we handled that, and it was just a test of mindset and toughness, and I thought the guys came through big time.
Joe, just to follow that up, what did you see down the stretch particularly about your execution and about that mindset that pleased you the most?
Once we embraced the fact that we were down double digits on the road in a Game 3 against Indiana, I thought it was pretty fun. And so I loved just the approach that we took. I loved the mindset that we had. I thought we executed well on both ends of the floor. We made the plays that were necessary to win. And that's how games are going to go. So you have to be able to win in different ways. You have to be able to get through certain stuff. And I thought our guys did a great job getting through it.
Joe, the behind-the-back pass for the game winner to Al or the go-ahead is going to get all the attention. But throughout the game, that pick and pop, it seems like Jason's so comfortable holding and finding him. Have you seen them developing that throughout the last couple of years? Is there things in practice, or is that just like rep after a game that kind of develops that chemistry?
Yeah, I mean, that should get there's a lot of plays that should get of attention from multiple guys, but just our offensive execution in general was good, and our pick-and-roll execution was good. I thought guys made the right play at certain times, whether to drive it, whether to pass it, one mores. And so I thought even when we had some empty possessions where, we got a couple shot clock violations, I thought we were playing with the right intentions, looking to make the right play, and that's the most important thing.
I think they've shot over 60% from two throughout the series. I don't know where it explicitly ended up tonight. What of the things that they have been doing in that area in particular that have given you guys trouble through these first three games?
I like to differentiate the 2-point field goal percentage that were long twos versus transition twos versus layups versus paint twos. And so that 60% can be a little misleading. Because some of the 2-pointers we have to live with because they're good at the other stuff, especially with Halliburton. So we got to break that number down and figure it out. Obviously, the transition twos are layups, so you got to fix that with your turnovers and your offense and not getting cross-matched. The layups in the half court you fix by your shift activity. The non-paint long twos you don't fix nearly as much. But they do a really good job of fighting to get the ball lower and lower, which makes it harder to switch. And they do a really good job of counteracting our ball pressure by getting it low. Like first drive, and the second drive gets a little bit lower. By the time you get to the third drive, it's really hard to switch that, and then they end up already having a foot in the paint. So in the first half, we didn't have great ball pressure, and they were able to get it lower, lower, lower. In the second half, we picked up our ball pressure, and they couldn't get it as low as they wanted to, and we had better shifts.
In addition to the ball pressure, you said you found some things that you liked as the game went on in terms of matching up with them. What were some of those things that you liked as it went?
I mean, I can't tell you that, but I know we found them.
I'll just try.
Joe, just the performance of Al Horford, who just keeps churning away mentally, physically, and what he did tonight.
Poise. Like I said, I felt like even when it wasn't going well for us, which we have to expect that it's not at times, we just kind of stayed right there. And Al's kind of the anchor to that. But I think tonight it was everybody. Everyone just kind of stayed there. And, You know, when we got it to like 10, being down 10 on the road in a playoff game should not be anything other than like normalcy. And so we just had to normalize it. We had to normalize the situation we were in, and Al's poise and leadership, and I think everybody showed that as well.
Joe, you went with Xavier there for a little bit, first time in this series. What do you feel like he gave you guys, particularly on the defensive end there in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, his ability, he's a great screener. He creates separation. And he has the gift defensively to be able to play both in drop and switch. And so we were able to change our coverages when he was out there pretty frequently. He can guard different matchups because of his ability to play in drop and in switch. And so he just gave us some versatility, and I really appreciate with what he's going through right now, just him even being here, and then the ability to call on him and him deliver for us just says a lot about who he is as a person. So I appreciate him for that.
It felt like, especially down the stretch, like there was just a different level of physicality on defense with you guys, more of resistance. I mean, you talk about that's kind of what separates at this level. What did you see, and what was kind of behind it?
That our ball pressure stayed consistent, and then when we picked them up, they couldn't get it lower and lower and lower. And so, like, they still got it to where they want a little bit, but we gave, like you said, we had more resistance defensively. We had better shift activity defensively. And, you know, we were just able to kind of do both. You know, they test you with their dribble drive. It's really hard because their spacing is not predictable. And so you never know what type of space you're going to be in, so you don't know where the shift is going to come in from. So it's a real, like, the guys did a great job communicating matchups, coverages. We went zone. But, like, once we were able to figure out the frequency to kind of slow them down a little bit, the guys really executed.
Joe, you talked about being caught by surprise that you're down double digits, embracing that you're down double digits. Can you explain, like, before you embrace it, what does that look like, and after you embrace that, like, what's that process?
I mean, I think you get caught up when you're down. You're just kind of like, shit, we're down, like, or we're down, or, you know, nothing's going our way, or such and such. Like, it wasn't as bad as it felt for me personally. Like, as I'm processing the game, I was like, this feels a lot worse than it actually is. We just got to tweak a couple things, and once we get it, we'll chip away at it. And so once you get out of the mindset of focusing on what's happened, and you get in the mindset of focusing on what needs to happen, then you can just kind of make the shift. And I thought the guys did a really good job of that. But, like, at one point, I was like, look at the scoreboard. I was like, fellas, like, look at the scoreboard. Like, you know, Dallas was down 18 last night. Like, this has to be normal. We have to know that we're going to be losing in the playoffs at some point, that we have to play through it. And the only way you play through it is by being in it. And so I thought the guys did a great job staying present in it.
I'm curious, that the very last play, had you ever seen that formation that they came out with before? Yeah,
it's a really good play. I think Miami runs it. I know Indiana runs it. It's unpredictable. So we had a game plan. We were looking to execute our, you know, need three defense in some capacity, but, you know, just like their half court offense, no idea if that was if it was reads, but that was definitely hard to guard. They got a good shot off. Some of it is luck too. Like, we'd all sit here and say, like, that shot goes in, we're having a completely different conversation. So not necessarily luck, but, like, you need stuff to go your way sometimes. So.
You're talking about feeling calm throughout that whole process during the game. You took more than twice as many threes as they did. And you had a few sections where you missed a ton of open threes. You guys kept firing. Al, JT have both been shooting poorly a lot, and they kept firing, and they eventually came out on top. How does, like, that three-point volume discrepancy help you feel calm?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, like, we didn't go into the game saying we have to double them up at the three-point line. We came to the game saying, like, you got to take the best shots possible. And so we did a great job in the second half, and really most of the game, of just taking the shot that was available there. If you break down the defense and they're taking away the rim and there's a 2-on-1, you have to make that play. And so I thought we just kept chipping away by taking the right shot every single time, whether it was a three, whether it was a layup. And, you know, when you do that over the course of possession, I think it gives you a chance to get back into a game, and I thought the guys did that.